Crown Jewel will now determine who is the most dominant champion in the men's and women's division for an entire year. That's right, a new tradition is starting where there's a big freaking belt that will go to the winner of the SmackDown and Raw champion once they fight each other. No storyline needed. They're just going to go at it at Crown Jewel from this point forward. And my gut reaction? Don't like it. However, as human beings, it seems like our gut reaction is to always look on the negative side. So I slept on it a day or two, and I'm ready to talk about it. I came with some pros, and I came with some cons. Let's discuss and see if maybe it's not going to be as bad as we thought. First pro that I see, we automatically get top tier talent fighting each other that we might not normally get. Granted, Gunther versus Cody is a match that I could see actually happening, but what if Seth Rollins was the champion right now, or Damian Priest? Because while, yeah, you could say, well, Seth and Cody have already fought. Yes, they have already fought, but would they fight this point in their career? How cool would it be to actually see Seth Rollins versus Cody right now, being that they just tagged together at WrestleMania 40. So having this kind of stipulation where it's just whoever's champion by November 2nd or Crown Jewel, you're fighting each other, that could create some really interesting matchups. And this has happened in the past because for a while Survivor Series was doing this, and we got Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. That match might have never happened if it wasn't for the fact that AJ was champion at the time on SmackDown. And you might say, well, no, I can see that match happening. Well, what about Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar? Again, happened because it was champion versus champion. So there is that plus side. And if you, yes, you out there in YouTube land want to fight Gunther or Cody Rhodes, you're going to need a championship belt. And to get this one right here, all you got to do is comment below. Once I hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to give the belt away to a random comment on a random video. Belt goes bye-bye to you. Free shipping, free everything. Why am I doing it? To become a full-time YouTuber. I want to quit the day job and do wrestling content all day long. Stream it all week long. It'll be amazing. I would appreciate the engagement, and I would just thank you in advance. The con, though, is one champion is gonna have to lose. No matter what, the champion has to lose. And the examples that I just gave you, it was really cool to see Brock versus AJ, but you knew Brock was gonna win. It was really cool to see Brock versus Daniel Bryan, but you knew Brock was gonna win. And the fact that you know that Brock is gonna win, that's how you know which title is superior. Now, suspension of disbelief allows me to think that both championships are equal. But if I was really honest with you, I'm going to say Cody Rhodes' championship is the most important title. But when I see Gunther beating Damian Priest, and then Randy Orton, and then Sami Zayn, I want to believe that that world title is on par 1-to-1 with Cody's title. Even if I know in my heart it's not, I want to just, for those 2 hours I'm watching wrestling, I want to believe that. And if I see the world championship continuously losing year after year after year, that will just cement the fact that the undisputed title on SmackDown is the important title. Ed Canito, sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, from Facebook, it can enhance a storyline. Example, KO or Goldberg interfering, and that's legit. Here we can have Goldberg actually interfere in the match, cost Gunther the victory, but not the title. So that is actually a pretty cool fact right there, that you can have a huge development in a feud without actually costing the prized possession of the champion. And when it's all said and done, the champion can leave as if nothing happened, and he can still be more upset with the guy that he's actually feuding with. And however, on the flip side, the con of that is it can also pause a feud. So Cody Rhodes has just entered into a feud probably with KO Kevin Owens. Let's say KO doesn't interfere in this match whatsoever. So what we have to do then is kind of put a pause to everything. We have Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens really upset with each other, but Cody has to go to Raw and start getting mad at Gunther or trying to at least one-up him. And so the Cody Rhodes KO feud is kind of put on hold because Cody Rhodes is too focused on being the dominant champion. It can build credibility. So Gunther has the world title. The world title hasn't been around a long time, and yet, at this point, I do feel that it is a credible world title. Seth Rollins did a great job making it seem important. Drew McIntyre chasing it so much that he has made it seem credible. Damian Priest, this continuous underdog of a champion, made it seem important. So, if Gunther can walk in to Saudi Arabia and pin Cody Rhodes, it will give that belt so much prestige. Con, though, the flip side is it would be a horrible thing for Cody Rhodes. So if you've been watching this channel up until recently, I've been pretty harsh on Cody Rhodes and his title reign. It's been very lackluster, very weak. It is starting to heat up greatly right now, and I'm very, very happy because I love Cody Rhodes, but his title reign up until pretty much Roman, it has been lame, and if Cody loses, that will just add to just the cannon fodder of material that we have on Cody Rhodes being a weak champion and a boring title reign. Oh, what? You lost to the world title? Roman would never have done that. You get what I'm saying? So it can build credibility, but on the flip side, it can really, really tarnish a title run as well. Red Ranger 4953 says it adds another tradition to the WWE. People love their tradition. It extends a champion's title run. Absolutely. Roman Reigns was chasing the fourth longest title reign of all time, and throwing in a PLE was a beautiful thing for him. When he had to fight Big E, a built-in feud for him to appear at the PLE, that was great. He can walk into a PLE, be on the poster, and we don't have to worry about him losing the title. This can extend a championship's reign. And then it also gives bragging rights. Now, if you're the face like Cody Rhodes will probably barely acknowledge if he wins. He'll be like, yep, I walked in, I won, we fought hard, great job, on to Kevin Owens. Gunther, however, a heel, can use the bragging rights for an entire year, if not forever. Chris Jericho still talks about how he beat Rock and Stone Cold in a single night. Gunther, he could easily just talk about that forever. So bragging rights is a huge, huge deal. Con, though, from Metal Mayhem is, this is just another PLE with no major title defense. People want to see the main title defended, and we just came from Bad Blood, and Gunther was not on the card, and Cody Rhodes was locked into a tag team with Roman Reigns. So no world championship was defended on Bad Blood, and the next PLE has no world championship being defended as well. Granted, they are actually fighting each other, but no title is defended, so it's almost like, does this PLE matter? Jamie K9780 says, I feel this was a way to please the fans who didn't like War Games concept and still wanted champ versus champ matches, because before the War Games took over Survivor Series, it was kind of champion versus champion. Yeah, you know, this is a good way to get that back into the mix, but I'm not sure people were really clamoring for it. I've never really heard people say, I miss this so much. So if you were someone who did miss champ vs. champ, well, here you go. Con, it's meaningless and it ends there. I guess that's a con because it's like, why are we even having it? I don't think it's really a title, more so it's a trophy, because I think it stays in Saudi Arabia. It's probably just going to be a press piece that whenever WWE shows up, that some diplomat breaks out the title and they all hold it and take a bunch of pictures. That doesn't take away from your point, though. It is going to be a meaningless title. It's basically Braun Strowman's Royal Rumble title. Maybe a little more important than that. What an ugly belt. A lot of people have said it's a very ugly belt. I was trying to come up with a nice term, but yeah, no, I've heard more people say it's ugly than it's not. However, I have seen people who actually do like it. So beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You can have 98 people say that that belt is ugly, but 2 people saying that that belt is beautiful. Well, those 2 people, their opinion is just as valid. Whatever life experiences brought them to this moment in time, they see a beautiful belt, and hey, you know what? For you 2 people, have at it. appreciate that belt. But I'm with the other 98, and I do think that belt looks a little gaudy. But again, if you like it, continue to enjoy it. We're going to end with the con, and to me, this comment right here actually sums up everything in why I am now actually not even just like not liking the idea, but a little afraid of the idea. Comes from Luck as Neo 2089. The champions clashing at Crown Jewel is terrible. It means Saudi will have a very direct way to tell WWE who should and shouldn't be champion around this time of year. Or should we pretend that Saudi Arabia would be interested in someone that isn't a huge star main eventing Crown Jewel? Heck no. It will force WWE's hand and make them take the title off of that one person and give it to one of the bigger stars. I would like to say that's not true, but I don't know. Saudi Arabia does like their stars. For real, if you go back to that biggest Royal Rumble of all time, look at all the people they drew from the past. They even brought in a sumo wrestler because they wanted Yokozuna. They didn't know that Yokozuna, RIP, had passed away. Look at the matches that they paid big money for. Getting Shawn Michaels out of retirement. Goldberg versus Undertaker. Triple H versus Randy Orton. I think he even fought John Cena one time. Just tons and tons of old-timers and blasts from the past they want. And they have a lot of money. And TKO is about that money. And if Saudi Arabia looks and says, you know what? Damian Priest isn't big enough of a star, put the title on that guy right there. The guy who used to be the Intercontinental Champion and held it for so long. That's a star. What if that happens? Because something like this has kind of happened before, in that we had a champion right before a champion versus champion match. Suddenly the belt had to be taken off him so we could make the main event better. And that could have interrupted storylines. And you're like, when did this happen? Remember AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar? Well, a week or two before that match, it was going to be Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I didn't want to see that anyways, and that's fine and dandy, but the fact that it was champion versus champion, and Jinder Mahal was the champion, they had to get the belt off him as quick as possible. Who knows? Maybe he would have been champion until the Royal Rumble or something, and I don't know, in an alternate universe, he had the one feud that he needed to happen to make him a legit star. And whatever the case may be, I know I laugh a little bit because it's just so, like, absurd, but what if? What if? So I'm just saying that these champion versus champion matches can force another champion to lose the belt in order to get a bigger name to be the champion so they can fight the other champion. And let me tell you something, if Brock Lesnar was an active wrestler right now, I could see the Saudis saying, hey, could we get Cody versus Brock? I could definitely see it. Now, I don't know how much power they have and how much sway they have, but I feel they've got at least a vote. And yeah, it can be scary. It can be scary. And to me, that right now is the biggest drawback, the biggest con on why I don't want this thing happening. I wasn't even thinking of that when the belt was revealed. In fact, the only thing that I was thinking about was I didn't want one champion to look weaker than the other champion. That was my main reason. But now, my biggest fear is that the Saudi Arabia government will have a say in who becomes champion and disrupt storylines in order for this to happen. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there anyone out there who is more pro than con this decision? I want to know what your thoughts are. And even if you are con this decision, if you have any pros, put them in the comments below, because I'm trying to like this idea. But as of right now, I'm not feeling it, but that could change. That could change. Anyways, guys, girls, have yourselves a great day.